Unleash the power of knowledge and connect with the heartbeat of the African diaspora. Download our African Diaspora News Channel app now on Google Play and Apple App Store. Stay informed with authentic and diverse perspectives, breaking news, and cultural insights. Immerse yourself in a community that celebrates unity, resilience, and progress. Experience the vibrancy of the diaspora at your fingertips. Don't miss out. Empower your perspective today. Search African Diaspora News Channel and join the conversation.
Peace, family. My name is Vicki Dillard for African Diaspora News Channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. As you come in, be sure to give us a big thumbs up and share the broadcast. That way notifications are generated out to others and our message is thus expanded. And for that, we say thank you so very much, dear family. I am very aware of the fact that elections took place in the beautiful South Africa, yes. And because of the changes and because of the ANC's inability to get over 50% threshold, there were some major changes in the government, including my beloved foreign minister that I love so much, former Dr. Naledi Pandor. I understand now that the present minister is Mr. Ronald Lamola, and I assume that he is a quite a capable individual. I remember seeing him in the background with Dr. Naledi Pandor when they were at the ICC earlier this year. And my understanding is that President Cyril Ramaphosa appointed him in this past summer as the new emissary. And of course, I wish him well. But dear family, I often hear commentary and voices talk about how bold and how outspoken and how courageous folks like Dr. Naledi Pandor and others are. That's wonderful to say, but more than just acknowledging their bravery, their intrepidness should be measures to make sure that our beloved heroes, and especially Black women, are protected. And that not only are measures put in place to ensure such protection, but that your voices are lifted to let the opposition know that you will not have them targeting your own. Now, I'm bringing that up for two reasons, at least two reasons. Of course, it's way more than that, and I'll explain what I mean on the other side. But this summer, shortly after no longer being, after she was not appointed to be a part of the cabinet, Dr. Naledi Pandor gave a very powerful lecture at one of the universities. And so I want you to listen to just this brief excerpt of something that she says. Watch this.
I have been labeled the branch of Hamas in South Africa. And recently, after I was not appointed to cabinet, a leader of the Zionist movement in South Africa said, "Thank God Pandor is gone. She is the worst anti-Semitic South African we've ever seen." I have no hatred of Jewish people.
Okay, family, did you hear what she said right there? Did you hear her say and identify the forces within South Africa that opposed her, that labeled her a terrorist group, and then expressed relief that she was no longer the foreign minister? Thanking God that she was no longer there. That should tell you something. Now, I'm not the expert. It is not my place to speak on the goings on accurately of what's happening on the ground in your country. But as a daughter from the United States of America, 45 years of living, almost 46, as a daughter of the soil in this country and a daughter and a citizen of the world, I can certainly tell you something geopolitically and spiritually. That your country is more of a threat than you know, and how there are forces that are within your own government, mess making, that happens from the grassroots, from the ground up, that outside forces are agitating. You can't even find one family that don't have normal conflict. You can't even go to Taco Bell if you still eat there. You can't go to a restaurant or a shoe store where sometimes employees or workers don't get along. That's normal, family. What's not normal is when outside forces come in to exacerbate those differences. And then you turn around and implode and turn on each other in such a way that you can't see the forest for the trees and don't recognize that there is a hidden hand, even on the soil, even domestically, that's causing mess making. And that gets you to see your country or your leadership in a way that you might be missing something. Now, I'm saying that specifically within this case, because I know how your beautiful Dr. Naledi Pandor was hated around the world. So not only did she identify forces in recent history from within South Africa who have geopolitical connections to them folks over there in the Middle East, but I know how Congress people did her when she came to the United States. Let me hit the gavel on that. For those of you that don't know, the Vicki Show is a home of the hand claps and the gavel raps. I hold court here, baby. But I want to remind you, I talked about this before, and I won't fail to talk about this because I think this is very important, especially with my beloved sisters, and the need for us to protect them, to make it clear to the world that they are not to be touched or targeted. I'm reading this piece here from the International Service of Human Rights. The headline here, this is again from this past summer, says U.S. lawmaker threats against International Criminal Court violate international law. I did multiple broadcasts on that. How many of y'all remember me talking about the fact that the United States Congress folks, high-level government officials, threatened the international courts? They threatened the prosecutor, his family, but that's not all. Let me read you this before I make my other point. A little bit of this piece says threats to U.S. lawmakers of retaliation against the International Criminal Court, as well as those that cooperate with them in relation to potential charges against senior Israeli officials, violate international law. Yes? It says that the announcement by the prosecutor of the International Criminal Court that he will seek arrest warrants for alleged war crimes and crimes against humanity perpetrated by senior Israeli and Hamas officials is a positive development and an appropriate response to the overwhelming evidence of atrocity crimes committed in Gaza and Israel. All states with a commitment to human rights. It goes on to talk about different things, and it says, but threats of retaliation, reprisals, or sanctions against the ICC, its prosecutor or other officials, as well as against those who cooperate with the ICC to support such investigations and prosecutions, are prohibited under international law and are a flagrant violation of the right of all persons to communicate and cooperate with international bodies. They formally condemn, quote, we condemn threats by U.S. Republican lawmakers of retaliation and sanctions against the International Criminal Court, its prosecutor, Karim Khan, his associates, and their families over the decision to seek arrest warrants for folks in the Middle East. Why am I reading that? I talked about months ago that this letter was issued. Now, our U.S. lawmakers who are supposed to abide by laws here in the United States and around the world, just laws especially that are recognized by international bodies, the United States government, Congress folks, acted like gangsters and threatened such leaders, such prosecutors, such international judicial government bodies and their families, as was just indicated in this condemnation by them. What I want to remind you is that your dear sister, Dr. Naledi Pandor, former emissary, international emissary, they sent that same letter of threat to her. What do you have to say about that? They are playing dirty in America. And those that are supposed to be your lawmakers are your lawbreakers. Not only did you hear her say for herself, after she was officially out of the cabinet, ugly comments that was said. I did other coverage on her, but they called her out of her name. International voices were threatening our dear sister while she was doing the work on behalf of South Africa. She was a threat because she was fair and balanced and she didn't go along with the West agenda. And it's more than just one. I'm saying that we need to make sure that she and others that are standing for justice, that it be known that hands off of our sister and that measures be put in place to protect them. My name is Vicki Dillard, beloved. I'll stop here. You know, I get a little passionate about this, but I love our dear sister and I wish your current government there well. Beloved, be sure to check out my website at VickiPlanet.com. That's VickiPlanet.com. I got a lot of wonderful webinars and information going on. Your life will never be the same. I can't wait to see you again.